Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. We respectable listeners them. We want to heartily welcome una to another Save Your Marriage reminder by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This special reminder they go to we beloved sisters them. We they in marriage by the will of Allah. One way for save we marriages them by the will of Allah, my beloved sister, is that we know for always wait until the man make a request for intimacy. I repeat again. We know for always wait until the man make the request. But rather we say, subhanallah, for make the request as well by the will of Allah. So as a sister, whether in marriage, no wait for your man at all time, waiting for your husband, na him for request say he need you, or na him for make the first move before you move. We need for move or marriages them by moving by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be static. Don't be, subhanallah, so static that you cannot move until they move you. Marriage na a place wherein we need for try as best as we can for enjoy every moment of it in a beautiful way. By the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a divine institution. It's a divine institution. Therefore, whatever thing you do in it in terms of goodness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they reward you. The Prophet alayhi salatu salam, he motivates husband and wife when it comes to sexual intercourse. When it comes to sexual intercourse, the Prophet alayhi salatu salam say, fi bud'i ahadikum sadaqah. Within the context of marriage, I say the intercourse, the intimacy, where una they get the mommy and daddy business within marriage, where husband and wife they get na charity, subhanallah. So in married, you are rewarded for having intercourse by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the companions radiallahu anhum, they be shocked. They ask the Prophet alayhi salatu salam, they say, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even in intimacy, where we they get pleasure, Allah they reward we? The Prophet alayhi salatu salam say, yes. He say, you know, say if you do am out of marriage, now waiting, na sin. So therefore, if you do am inside marriage, na blessing, na charity, subhanallah. Let's pull this particular sarah. Let's give this charity cheerfully by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make the move, my sister. The same thing to brothers as well. But generally, this particular advice or reminder, they go to his sisters. Because many times, subhanallah, we relax so much. Say, if you need me, you go make la no. Subhanallah, always say no kania, me say no need me. Not to always na for kania. Yourself go near. We the near you, near by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't feel the sense of nearing, near your husband. By the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make the move. By the will of Allah, they want to enjoy the groove. By the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, this is not a reality, and we are saying it because, subhanallah, this weakness, it don't break many marriages. Them. So man, they make an effort, always need the request, At time they come in safe, subhanallah, either you feel shy, or in safe you just tower, it say always na me, the request. So the man, they feel like, say, na no more need, you know they need. And sometimes they need, subhanallah, sometimes sisters, they need, but I they wait for her. If you need me, they come. Marriage is a place of need. When you need, make an effort. Subhanallah. Sometimes even when you know they need, and the other one they need, you say for they need. We for adjust to self by the will of Allah, as long as not the time we permissible for intimacy, for sexual intercourse. Subhanallah, we need for adjust to self. But when you start saying, me are not there in the mood. I'm not there in the mood. For what reason? Inside marriage. Subhanallah. Inside marriage. Anytime your husband need you, I'm not there in the mood. Whose mood we there into now? Subhanallah. You tell me which mood? I'm not there in the mood. Subhanallah. even if there is a reason as to why you cannot respond when your husband needs you sexually, be polite, be respectful. Explain to them, my beloved husband, I'm very much sorry. They feel a serious headache. Subhanallah. Be sincere. Don't lie about it. Subhanallah. Don't lie in order for dodge the system. It is module 001. Inside married, sexual intercourse. Now module 001. In fact, it is the essence of marriage. The word nikah inside Islam, it simply means sexual intercourse by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So module number 1, meaning subject number 1 inside marriage, now intimacy, now that closeness, because that is something that you cannot get out of marriage. If you do them, you get a sin. Subhanallah. Not only within the context of marriage we are permitted, subhanallah, for bodily connect with one another, with a strange woman, with a strange man, after another marriage, now become husband and wife, then una can bodily connected by the will of Allah. Out of marriage is a major sin. Subhanallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granted guidance. So if you always say, I'm not in the mood, subhanallah, then why you got married? Why you got married? We should be ready, we should be happy, subhanallah. In fact, we should look forward for the moment by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We forget time, especially those of us who are young couples. Copulate as much as possible now, because time will come, subhanallah, a time they come when the body will be weak. You cannot anymore. You want to, but you cannot, because the system, subhanallah, no strong anymore. So now that you are young couples, enjoy the moment. Make una moment the momentous by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make them exceptional. Bismillah ta'ala, una improving una bonding by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in una intercourse, una intimacy. Bismillah ta'ala. This is the help the marriage. When people are sexually satisfied within the context of marriage, you see then they blossom, then they glow by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go see them face, them go beam. The woman go grab na money, very happy, go smile, subhanallah. But when people are not sexually satisfied within the context of marriage, there is so much problem in that marriage, so much palaver go happen, subhanallah. The wama to go boku, the system they warm a lot, subhanallah. Sometimes the man they vex for no good reason. You know why? He's not sexually satisfied. The same thing goes to the woman. That is why we need to take this act very serious. We have to say it, subhanallah. Why is that? Because it is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made mention of in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أُهِلَ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ رَفَثُوا إِلَى النِّسَائِكُمْ هُنَّ لِبَاثٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاثٌ لَهُنَّ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَنُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَعَافَ عَنْكُمْ فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُونَ وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, it is halal for we. Even imagine in the Ramadan, in the night after breakfast, Allah say, look, when I go close to una spouse them, when una get intimacy, sexual intercourse, then I cover lapa for una say na cover lapa for them. Subhanallah, subhanallah. We need to cover ourselves by the will of Allah, for protect yourself from shaitan. So when we cover ourselves, shaitan no they get away for enter, but we dey uncover ourselves a lot. We dey starve one another. Sexual starvation, it lead to hypertension. There are times they lead to commotion. There are times they lead to destruction. Subhanallah, it lead to many shun them. There are times it lead to negative reaction. Something indeed, even the picking and the suffer when we are not sexually satisfied within the context of marriage. There are times the mommy they looking picking is slap her number for no good reason. And the picking ask her, why, mama, what you do? He said that papa in bad trick them. And then so you get. The child is innocent. But this they happen, you know why? Unsatisfied sexual desire, it lead to emotional instability, emotional imbalance. The person not steady within himself. And emotional imbalance, it lead to what we call emotional scapegoating. Scapegoating means somebody they suffer for what you not do. So the power go slap in picking for no reason. The pikin ask our power what you do, then mama in bad trick, so now you get so. I feel by mama no more. And so if fever and the trick there as well. There are times the woman go grab, the wife go grab, he say this OC all thing die, the knife then die, the spoon then die, the plates then die, the television die, all thing at this OC die. Not all the things then die. Now something not they happen well inside room. Subhanallah. Let's enjoy the moment. This is one essence of marriage. Now for we get halal intimacy. So enjoy it as much as possible by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within the context of Islam, as we have explained by the will of Allah, the do's and don'ts when it comes to sexual intercourse. But today, we just want for really send this reminder, especially like I said to sisters them. There are times other brothers them, there are us brothers the way they do a similar thing also. Some of you, if the woman not request, will not respond. But the bigger side of it, many times it can come off from subhanallah, we beloved sisters them. Because men, we are very weak when it comes to that. Subhanallah. So we encouraging you as a sister, don't wait all the time that the man they request. Yourself request by the will of Allah. Get the request for request by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Na your husband. Look, brother, na your wife. Subhanallah. When there is a need for it, make the move so that the married go move. But who married don't stuck because we not make the move. Subhanallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for grant guidance. For make among the one them where they pull this charity cheerfully by the will of Allah, enjoying the moment within the context of halal by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah for make among the one the way they fulfill the desire of one another within the context of marriage for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I repeat again, we want to end off. If you want you married for move, make the move. My sister, make the move. My brother, make the move. Don't always wait. Then I ask. Yourself ask. By the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and strengthen you and save your marriages from damages. Till meet again for another reminder, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.